I am here.
Nice to see you and welcome in our forum.
Thank you.
So, Modest, could you switch sharing of your screen? Okay, yes. So,
And I can
Martin,
also see that Alex is here as well.
I am. Hello, everyone.
good to see you, both of you. So, Martin, you will start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm waiting for Alex to start sharing the presentation we have created for this session. But I can just start by saying thank you for having us to MarTe first technical workshop. We are, of course, sad that we cannot be on site this year, but we are very happy that you have invited us. And the meaning of our session here is to talk a little bit about the newest features in SolidWorks. And of course, something is from 26 and some are from older versions, but that will be covered by Alex. And I think that I will start by introduce the company we're working for, PLM Group, to start with. So Alex, if you...
Martin, maybe
yeah.
On your screen, you have like a black boxes, probably it's Zoom. So if you're able to like put it somewhere outside or just move it a bit like out screen.
Yeah, let's see. It is Alex that doing the presentation. So let's see. He will fix.
Was that better? Was that better?
Yes. Now it's perfect. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, sorry for interruption. You can start. Yep.
Of course.
Good. So I think that Alex, we can go to the next one there.
Yep.
Next slide. So first we will of course introduce ourselves, and I will start. My name is, as said, Martin Johansson. I work as early engagement team leader here at PLM Group, and I'm located in Värnamo, Sweden. And early engagement for us is that we distribute the licenses for education, for research, but we're also very connected to our SolidWorks for Startup program. I will talk a little bit about, but that is what I do the most of my working days.
And my name is Alex. I work as an application engineer for PLM Group, which basically means that I spend a lot of time with SolidWorks, doing a lot of trainings. And as MarTe just mentioned earlier, I also do a lot of certification. And I have spent right around 14 years with SolidWorks right now, and have conducted hundreds of trainings and also a lot of webinars like the ones we are looking at today. And I am very happy to be able to show you some of the features with SolidWorks 2026.
It was also very nice, very pleased to see Modest talking about the certifications. That is something that I also push the educational institutes to really use to help the students to become as good as they can within SolidWorks, and also use it when they are searching for their work opportunities. And it can also be used as a quality stamp, even if you are a experienced user. It's always nice to have a certification that can prove how good you really are. So, but what we do at PLM Group is that we empower your value chain, we say. So we provide software solution and expertise to support organizations to develop and manufacture innovative products. So with our help, users become more agile with efficient operations, which will lead to a sustainable product development model. Next slide will...
Oh, sorry. Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. Perfect. So short about PLM Group in numbers. We are a quite large organization or company. We have 190 employees, and we are spread in the Nordic and Baltic countries. So we are in Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, but also on Iceland. And we speak in 9 languages, which means that we are able to support in local languages, which is very important. Unfortunately, not today we got any of the local resources in Latvia to join this, because they were occupied with other work tasks this day. We are very proud with our customer satisfaction, which means that they give us very high grades when it comes to our support and trainings and consultancy. And as you can see, we work with a lot of SolidWorks users out there, more than 12,000, and they are being helped by our more than 60 own software experts, and all of them have different kind of certifications in different specialties. So this is our value chain. We talk about design, simulation, CAM, PLM, and 3D print. And I will just briefly explain each section of those. So if we look at design, we help them, the mechanical CAD users design with SolidWorks, CATIA, and DraftSight to bring their products to the market faster. And we make sure that they have the correct CAD tools for their design needs, no matter what the size of the company is. And we can, of course, help to expand when that is needed. So we enable the engineers to design and create innovative products by providing the CAD tools needed to take the initial steps from design and then collaborate across functions and different stakeholders. So by connecting the design and the team in a common platform will increase the efficiency of the design part. Simulation have become a very important segment. It is, of course, very important when you design that you also have the opportunity to test and validate the product before they become real-life products. So we can predict this real-world performance virtually by simulating how the products will behave. And we have the top-tier expertise in simulation software and techniques that can help you to become as good as possible in the simulation part. CAM is another segment, and we are a trusted partner to SolidCAM. And as you know, every minute counts, and of course, every CNC machine must also be used to the very maximum. So we empower to optimize efficiency and minimize the downtime in the production for the simple as well as the most complex products needed to be used by using SolidCAM. They are customized to address specific challenges and to achieve the competitive workflows. And also in this segment, we have our own experts with many years of hands-on experience that can help. And the last part of the value chain here is the PLM. And by using PLM, product lifecycle management, we ensure that innovation flows seamlessly from the idea phase to the impact creating value across the entire product lifecycle. And also here we have the best practice frameworks and the scalable technologies. And our platform 3D Experience will help to align the people, processes, and data, all from the customer concept out to the customer. As said, we are local, so we operate across the 7 countries. This to ensure the seamless support wherever you are as a user. So 190 engaged employees. Very proud of our customer satisfaction that is on the level of 98%. We have, as said, offices in the Nordic and Baltics, at least one in each country I mentioned, except Iceland. We don't have any office there, but we distribute the licenses from our Norwegian office to Iceland. And we, of course, offer the opportunity to scale as a company and use and make sure that you are future ready. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about the SolidWorks for Startup program, because that can be of interest in this forum. So SolidWorks for Startup program is, as said, a fantastic opportunity for newly founded companies where they can take their ideas to real product and become a business. And the starter program actually includes free SolidWorks licenses, simulation licenses, licenses for visualizing the products, and also, of course, access to the 3D Experience platform. It is basically a 3-year program where you start with free licenses first year, then you have high discount on year 2 and discount on year 3. This to really help you start the company in best way. We of course offer our local support. We also do co-marketing opportunities, which means that we do marketing cases together with our startups to showcase their products and their ideas. And we offer this design guidance from SolidWorks engineers, our own or other ones that are out there in the different communities. And who can apply to this startup program? It is, as said, for the newly started ones, so not older than 3 years, but we used to say not older than 5 years. So that is perfectly fine as well, but less than 1 million euro in total revenue and less than 1 million euro in fundings. And you, of course, need to develop a hardware product. So the SolidWorks Startup Program is not for engineering services, and you should not be a SolidWorks customer before. So I think that this is a quite natural step when we are talking about how to provide students with licenses, with the opportunity to get certified. And if they want to try to start their own company, they can, of course, use the SolidWorks for Startup program. But as said, it is very important to remember that even most experienced SolidWorks users that have been working within the industry for many, many years also start their own companies and search for the SolidWorks for Startup program. So that was all from my side. Once again, trusted by our industry-leading partners. You might know these logos, Dassault Systems. They are the owners of SolidWorks, Simulia, CATIA, and then we also partner with SolidCam. We have experience in the 3D Experience platform to help customers to start to use that. And it is actually so that every new SolidWorks license that has been sold from the 1st of July 2023 come with access of 3D Experience platform. So it is now a natural part of the SolidWorks license. And DryWorks is also a partner that we work with when it comes to design automations.
Okay, Martin.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Let's go well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and jump straight into showcasing some of the features you'll be getting with SolidWorks 2026. So the next couple of slides will basically be all the new stuff that has been added to the newly released version of SolidWorks, which is the version 2026. And as Martin mentioned, when you acquire a SolidWorks license, you will also gain access to the 3D Experience platform. The 3D Experience platform is a very large platform of a lot of handy tools, especially when it comes to handling the life cycle management of your products, but also enhancing communication regarding the products that you are designing. With the 3D Experience add-in, a bunch of new features has also been available for the SolidWorks installation. And one of the features that we were very proud to announce last year was a beta version of auto-generating drawings. So I remember MarTe talking about some drawings and that there might be some issues with the level of quality that comes with the drawings. Some other honorable mentions is the brake line dimension. If I were to add the entire list of all the enhancements that we find on the drawing side of SolidWorks, it would be a very, very large list. So I've spared you from that. What I basically want to highlight is that the visuals within the SolidWorks drawings in 2026 has been greatly enhanced, which will hopefully assist and support the engineers in being able to produce some very, very good looking drawings for both company and customers. So there's been a lot of improvements on the visuals of the drawing layout in SOLIDWORKS 2026. But before we continue, let's have a quick look on the auto-generate drawings. So we have come up with a model for today's webinar. We've tried to model what resembles an engine bell from a rocket, together with a turbo and some mounting brackets. But for this one part, I would like to try and showcase the auto-generate drawings. So let's say that I'm happy with the way my model look right now, and I want to generate my drawing, but I haven't got the time to do it, or I want to hurry up and create something for the production line or customer that they can look at right here and now. I can go ahead and click the auto generate drawing. You can see it's in brackets beta because it'll be upgraded this coming Saturday. I'll get back to that. But I'll just go ahead and click this button. It'll ask for a title and a name. I'm happy with the name it's got right now, so I'll go ahead and click OK. And on the right hand side of SOLIDWORKS in our task pane, you can see that we have the auto generate drawings. We have a title, it's the Raptor, a status icon that is slowly loading. I'm not entirely sure you can see this on the stream, and then I'd be able to cancel it. The cool thing to note is that I'll be able to continue to work with my model in SOLIDWORKS while the drawing is being generated in the background of SOLIDWORKS. So I'd be able to continue designing, engineering, creating features, or even go for a cup of coffee whilst my SOLIDWORKS software is slowly generating the drawing. As I mentioned, this feature is right now in a beta version, which is sort of like a work in progress. I am sure you're familiar with the term. But this coming Saturday, so only in a few days, an updated version to the automated drawing will be released with the first service pack of SOLIDWORKS 2026. So status says it's complete, and I'll be able to click open. Since this is a fairly large model, it's a 1-to-1 scale, the individual views of the part is right now somewhat small, but what I can conclude is that the drawing has been able to create some section views for me. It's also been able to import some of my dimensions. I know that all of my dimensions are not here. It is possible to go ahead and modify the information that the drawing will generate for you. But I mean, this is going from absolutely zero automation to the first automation in SOLIDWORKS generating drawings. So this is basically free for me. I can sit back and relax knowing that the drawing is now, it's got some information, and I'd be able to go into my drawing now and then add some more information if I want to. I can also go ahead and delete some views if I don't need it. Anyways, it's still in a work in progress. But it'll definitely save some time for you, and it'll be continuously improved going forward. Okay, so coming back to our PowerPoint, we will be talking about another AI that's been introduced to the 3D Experience platform, and the name of this AI is Aura. So Aura is, for the most part, a chatbot on our platform. And some of the updates to Aura is that Aura will now be able to summarize a lot of information. So right now we're looking at a very large design specification from a customer or a project. And with Aura, we have the feature like summarize, which will basically shorten everything down. Aura will also be found within SOLIDWORKS. So you can see from here, we are inside SOLIDWORKS software, and we've asked Aura, how do I save this document? A fairly simple question, some would argue, but Aura will give you a very thorough 8-step process of how you can proceed with saving this exact document. So with the introduction of 3D Experience, we have now also introduced some different AIs into our software. All right, the next stuff we will be looking into is some assembly some assembly updates to the 2026 release. What is noticeable is the split configuration and also the fastener automation. So within SolidWorks, we obviously use a lot of fasteners and a lot of bolts and a lot of nuts. And these are usually taking up a lot of work time, making sure that every bolt and nut is positioned correctly within our assembly documents. But hopefully with the new 2026 version, you will realize that the AI will now recognize geometry and automatically attach a nut or a bolt to a hole in our assembly document. First of all, I would like to just quickly jump back into my part. I'll go ahead and close my because one of the other news was that for this model right here, I have modeled it both with the turbo and without the turbo on the right hand side. And when I'm done modeling this one part here, and I have a bunch of different configurations, right now I only have 3, but let's say I would like to go ahead and create this one part of its own. I can go ahead and right click the configuration and I can select split configurations. When I split the configurations, SolidWorks will then also acknowledge that there is a drawing attached to this one part, and I can select whether I want to keep it or not. In this instance, I would like to keep it, and when I click Save, SolidWorks will split all the configurations into individual parts that you'll then be able to work with individually. Coming back into our presentation, give me a short second. We will have a look at the assembly updates that I just mentioned. So another thing to have a look at is that working with assemblies usually is a very tedious, time-consuming work, because whenever you update a model, you'd have to update the assembly that the model is referenced by. But with 2026, there's been added some new ways of handling local updates on parts that are contained within an assembly. So if you only do graphical changes to a part that is within an assembly, the assembly does not need to be reloaded and saved like it was back in the day. And all of the work going backwards and forwards from part to assembly is very smooth. In this situation right here, we can see how the engineer is working with very simple parts. So this is not a smart or intelligent part. This is just a part that has been created by an engineer. And as you can probably tell, he is very seemingly just dragging and dropping the components even from the Windows File Explorer directly into SolidWorks. And as you could probably tell, the components will automatically try and snap to some geometry that it recognizes as being a counterpart. So all of this is basically what can be classified as AI recognition of geometry within the SolidWorks software. Next thing we will be looking is going to the 3D Experience platform. So we have this very large autocamper that we will be working with today. But the work that I will be doing with this autocamper only consists of a few of the parts that is within the autocamper. So before I open the autocamper, I'll just go ahead and select that this is in my browser environment. So I'd log on to my Google Chrome or my Microsoft Edge. I'll go ahead and I'll find my large assembly, and then I'll go ahead and add a filter. So I'll go ahead and filter all of the components that I need to work with today. And when I'm happy with what I've selected, I'll go ahead and save this basically as a view or as it is called right now, as a filter. So I'll just go ahead and name this filter as fridge piping. And when I'm done with that, I'll come back into SolidWorks. So I did all of the work in my browser, but now when I load it from SolidWorks, we can tell that the information that we created or generated in the browser environment is now accessible within SolidWorks. This will greatly enhance the, so to speak, performance issues that might occur when working with large assemblies. In this way, you don't have to open a very large assembly document, then go ahead and suppressing a bunch of stuff. You can go ahead and basically select only a couple of components that you need to edit and then save them in a browser environment, and then afterwards open it in SolidWorks. This will hopefully streamline your way of working in SolidWorks quite by a large mile. Okay, so with SolidWorks 2026, we've also had some changes to the import performance. We know that a lot of people is working with step files in particular. Step files is sort of like a native language to share geometry from one computer to another computer, especially if the people that you're working together with do not have access to SolidWorks. Step file has notoriously been here for many, many years and is a well-supported platform for sharing geometry. But step files also tend to be fairly large. They also tend to take quite a lot of time to open, also in SolidWorks. So one of the new stuff that we've added for 2026 is that when you open the step files, you'll be able, as you might be able to tell from the bottom right-hand screenshot, you'll be able to go ahead and filter components by the size of the component. So in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a picture of a model, and the model contains quite a lot of unnecessary geometry that we don't need. So there's a lot of nuts and bolts within this step file, and we will be able, when opening the component, to go ahead and deselect all of these components, which will then eventually lead to the case that there's not a lot of information that needs to be imported into SolidWorks, and it'll make the import process very smooth. But coming back to SolidWorks quickly. So the auto-generate drawings, we already talked about that. And with that feature also comes an import model in background. So this is, again, SolidWorks will be able to import a large geometry. And if I just go ahead and find a step file, like so. So SolidWorks is now opening the step file right now, but it's doing so in the background. And as before, when I was creating a drawing, I will be able to continue to model my SolidWorks part. And right now in the background, SolidWorks is now importing the step file. So this took 17 seconds. It's not necessarily a large file, but you can imagine looking at your SolidWorks trying to import a very large step file that takes minutes, and we've seen hours from very large files. But from 2026, you'll be able to just go ahead and import in the background, and then you go ahead and click Open File. And when you click Open File, everything is ready to go ahead, and you can start engineering on your step file. So also a very handy piece of sort of like background piece of software that came with the SolidWorks 2026. Coming back into the presentation, we are now looking at some of the components that we have stored basically in our cloud environment, the cloud environment being the 3D Experience platform. We saw some changes to the 2026 SolidWorks 3D Experience, which was the ability to go ahead and save configurations as well on the platform, as I just showcased within the software. So this feature was introduced not that long ago, and it took some time to develop this piece of software, because the 3D Experience platform, being a browser and cloud environment, handles our files in a in a different way that we are used to working with them on our local C drive on our individual clients. All right. Yeah, I've already showcased the split configurations, but I would just like to just mention it for one last time. It is a very, very handy tool to work with a lot of different configuration that represents our product, maybe in different states of the life, maybe in different ways of production. And now with the introduction of split configurations, it's just been very, very easy to go ahead and proceed and utilize all the different configurations that you've been working with. Back in the days, you would imagine that you've built one model and then realize that you'd have to build another model either the same way or in a different way. In this way, you can create a large model file set within one, either assembly or part, and then afterwards you'd be able to go ahead and just split it into multiple different individual parts. One of the new, basically talking about the 3D Experience platform. 3D Experience platform is also focusing a lot of connecting people. So traditionally, when working with CAD files across multiple different users and customers and companies, you are basically used to generating files in SOLIDWORKS, saving them, and then distributing them either as a step file or a pack and go. You will probably today you will be using softwares like Microsoft Teams to share documents, or you might be using any other kind of cloud service. But even as practical as a Microsoft Outlook, basically just emailing stuff in between different partners. With the 3D Experience platform coming into SOLIDWORKS, as you can probably tell from the picture we're looking at right now, we are right now within the SOLIDWORKS software as you are used to, but as you can tell from the right-hand side in what we call the task pane of SOLIDWORKS, you can tell that we are looking at some forums. So these forums has been added to the SOLIDWORKS interface, and it'll basically allow you to communicate directly from the SOLIDWORKS software. So let's say that you are experiencing some issues and you don't know how to proceed. You can basically go ahead and ask the question directly into the SOLIDWORKS forum, and you can attach a screenshot of your model as well. And in this case, Debbie Designer was very lovely and answered us with a question saying, have you tried to use the feature break view? And we tried to use the feature break view, and in this case, that was exactly what we were looking for. So we'll give Debbie a thumbs up, as you say, and we will go ahead and validate the answer she gave us as making sure that this was the correct answer for this specific case. So in the future, if people are in the same situation that we were in, they'll be able to see that once Debbie answered this question and it helped us as Eric engineer, and everyone else in the future will be able to go ahead and use the same solution as the one here. So the 3D Experience platform is definitely trying to introduce a lot of modern technologies, both with AI features, but also trying to basically expand the forums and the communities surrounding and revolving around SOLIDWORKS, basically trying to bring everyone closer together. All right, so unfortunately, a couple of years ago, we somewhat lost the possibility to create renders within SOLIDWORKS. There was an update to SOLIDWORKS, I believe it was 2024 maybe. We lost the possibility to create renders within SOLIDWORKS, but coming SOLIDWORKS 2026, the feature has been added into the software, back into the software again, and this time around it's even been greatly enhanced. So Some of you might know the software called Visualize. Visualize is a rendering software that'll be able to create some very beautiful pictures of your SOLIDWORKS models. All of the pictures that you see in the right-hand side of your screen right now has all been generated within SOLIDWORKS Visualize. The model you are looking at is one of the SOLIDWORKS customers that uses SOLIDWORKS to design their Vermeer digging machine. And these pictures has been rendered within Visualize to create some very nice material for both the marketing but also the sales department. And as mentioned, the render possibilities has been reintroduced into SOLIDWORKS, but now also enhanced, which means that the SOLIDWORKS Visualize engine is basically being used within the SOLIDWORKS software right now. So back in the day, so to speak, you'd have to basically somewhat export the document into Visualize, creating your Visualize setup and then rendering the picture. But most of the functionalities from the Visualize software has been attached to SOLIDWORKS directly. So what we look at right here is attaching some very beautiful surface treatments to our model. And as you can probably tell, the enhancements regarding the surface finishes to the material has been enhanced quite a lot. So it almost looks like that there is a 3D mapping to the parts that we are looking at. It is not a 3D map at all. It's just basically been enhanced with what's called DSPBR technology, which makes it look very natural and very lifelike. After this, we will just go ahead and add a background to our SOLIDWORKS viewport, and then we'll go ahead and create the final render. The final render obviously takes a couple of minutes, but I will spare you that. So we'll go ahead and set it to a high quality and click OK. And basically, this took right around 4 to 5 minutes, I think, rendering this picture on my PC. So this will obviously differ from PC to another according to your hardware. Okay, another feature that is very handy to look at is the share feature. Because we would love to share our documents with external partners, we will be able to share files in many different ways. One of the ways that we can share our files with is with the share command within SOLIDWORKS, and we'll be able to share our files with people that don't have SOLIDWORKS installed, which means that we'll be able to share this document, and the person that we're sharing the document with will be able to open this document from a browser environment and look at the model right here. So the new share command will be introducing a process where the recipient do not need SOLIDWORKS to look at the file. The recipient will only need an internet connection and a browser software. Looking at some of the simulation enhancements for 2026, we have some rotational displacement plots, and we have improved on the shell formulation within SOLIDWORKS, and also added some pin connector forces. So we'll be looking at this one model right here. So this model is obviously a very large sheet metal model. A sheet metal model is notorious for being a geometry that is fully drawn, so there is an inside and an outside of the model. But with the shell improvements in SOLIDWORKS, we'll now be able to just go ahead and remove basically all of the inside to the geometry and just defining a thickness which makes the simulation run extremely more quicker than we are used to. So for this study, we have selected our pin as the connector, and we have a coordinate system that we will apply a load to. So with the load applied from the coordinate system to the pin, we'll go ahead and click run, but unfortunately we have an error. So apparently one of our components is missing a material, and from 2026, SOLIDWORKS will now very helpfully explain us which material is missing from what part, and we'll just go ahead and reattach some material, a plain carbon steel, and then we'll go ahead and run the study again. So when we run the study, we will see that the results of this study is somewhat not acceptable. Apparently, there is quite a lot of displacement. We'll go ahead and look at the rotation around the y-axis, and we'll go ahead and change it from rads to degrees, and then we'll go ahead and just have a quick look at the animation. And from this simulation, we are not happy about the forces. The forces is definitely too large on our component. So we'll go ahead and jump into our shell manager. So inside our shell manager basically consists all of our bodies within the model, and it's very easy for us to just go ahead and change the thickness of the entire model from 0.25 inches to 0.625 inches, and then go ahead and run the study one more time. So in the meantime, we've changed the thickness of our sheet metal, and from the new results, we can tell that the simulation is much better. What we would then love to, or like to have a look at, is the new vibration plot. So the connector, the pin that was connected to the force, or the force was going straight into one of our connector pins, we can now also have a look at our vibration, our vibration graph. So apparently there is quite a lot of vibration when it comes to a specific point of hertz, and that will then be taken care of by the engineering department. All right, continuing on, I know that we are running a little low on time. I'll try and make it quick from now. We are now able to also include a lot of information regarding our weldment information on the 3D Experience platform, which basically again goes to show that we are now able to share a bunch of information regarding our SOLIDWORKS products directly to a browser environment, which makes it accessible for everyone in the company who is logged on to the 3D Experience platform. I have a question. I still have a couple of slides left, but I know that we might be out of time. Should we continue on from here, or how should we proceed?
No, I think you could show the slides. I think we can spend a couple minutes more, so it's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll continue. Obviously, there's been some improvements to the performance within the software. The software is always updated. The software is always being more streamlined. So here's the comparison from SOLIDWORKS 2025 to SOLIDWORKS 2026. And in this one case, we saw an upgrade, or basically an enhancement of 30% faster, basically from the same software, but just the software engineers improving on the codes within the software. Design tables, basically the same as the weldments that I talked about earlier. Design tables can be generated from an Excel document. So the Excel document will be making sure that the actual design or the geometry will change according to the Excel document. You have probably already worked with this earlier on. So we are now able to also attach the Excel document to the file that is stored in the cloud, and everyone will be able to access it also from the cloud. These enhancements were also seen in SOLIDWORKS 2026, basically trying to accommodate what you are used to. All of these features are being moved from basically your local client into the cloud as well. Deformable components, I think this is one that we will skip for now just because of the times. One very, very interesting one is the iteration comment. So obviously when we are designing our model, we have a lot of iterations, we had a lot of versions, we have a lot of revisions, and we also have a lot of what's called branches within the 3D Experience platform. The iteration comment is basically whenever you save the document, you will now be able to go ahead and add a comment to what changes you have made. And as you can tell from the right-hand side of the document right now, you will be able to scroll backwards and forwards of the individual iterations that you have made. So you will be able to very quickly go back to another time in life of this one product And if you want to navigate it smoothly, there is the possibility to add a comment of how the part looked back in the day, so to speak. So iterations basically regarding the lifecycle management revolving around the parts. There's a bunch of possibilities with the 3D Experience platform as well. My last two mentions is that coming this next Saturday, as I mentioned, we have a big release for SOLIDWORKS 2026. And this Saturday, we will see a new AI being introduced into the software. The other AI I mentioned was named Aura, and the new AI being introduced is named Leo. So Leo will be adding two very important things into SOLIDWORKS. One of them is the assembly structure assistance. Basically, we have a chat with Leo in the right-hand side of SOLIDWORKS specifying what we would like to build in SOLIDWORKS, and Leo will then go ahead and try, as you see from the middle of my screen, will try and build an assembly structure of all the parts necessary for building the actual product that you are looking at. Another enhancement coming with Leo this Saturday is the what's wrong analysis AI, so to speak. So whenever you have an issue within SOLIDWORKS and you are struggling to try and figure out what is wrong and why am I not able to fix my model, Leo will try and help you using some AI-powered engines, and you'll be able to ask Leo what is wrong. And as you can tell from the right-hand side of my screen, Leo will try and guide you through the processes of fixing your issues. And with that, sorry, I know I surpassed the time limit, but with that, that was what I had for SOLIDWORKS 2026.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for you and for Martin as well. It was very interesting and hope very useful for our colleagues as well. Maybe a couple questions if someone would like to ask. I hear no response from audience, but I have my questions. Martin, maybe again highlight from your side about startup involvement. So you propose up to 3 years discounted like a license for startups. So its first year is completely free for startups, and startup not longer than 3 years. I think this could be very, very useful for MarTe project and MarTe community, because we are interested to drive technologies to market, and we are interested to bring new like industry players and exactly startups, students and engineers who are interested in doing their business and doing business in deep tech. And we probably try to promote your advertisement about startup users in much better auditory. Yeah, so it's maybe just comment that this is a nice feature, and thanks for it, because again, from I personally know for small companies it's quite tragical actually to buy a full license. I know you have like a couple weeks free demos or something like this, but sometimes it's completely not enough. And maybe a question to Alex as well. Nice to see IE in like build it in SolidWorks, but is it cloud-based? So you anyway need internet and connection to use this. Is it right? So it's not for people computer.
Yeah, somewhat. Some of it is cloud-based, and some of well, basically, you would need the 3D Experience, which is a third-party software, so to speak. CAM Visualize Simulation is also a third-party software to SolidWorks, and the 3D Experience platform is also an add-in you would go ahead and download from SolidWorks software. You would install it on your computer, and when you install it on your computer, you basically gain access to all the features provided by the 3D Experience platform.
Perfect.
So,
how it's actually stable. So sometimes using IE, it make not saying errors, but going somewhere wrong direction, and you need to bring it back. So let's say, for example, of automatic drawing recognition and model building. How your experience? How
Yeah.
good is it?
Yeah, so first of all, I've only been working with the auto-generated drawing since the release of the beta version back in November of last year. So it is very, very new. I know that the auto-generated drawing is basically building a drawing from your default template. So the better you also, or the more time you invest into building a very nice drawing template, the better the AI will work together with you. But also, as I mentioned, it was a beta release right now because SOLIDWORKS 2026 is in a Service Pack 0.0. So the Service Pack 1.0 is coming this Saturday, and with that, there will also be enhancements to the auto-generated drawing. So the drawing will not be 100% complete. You cannot leave your head and just click the auto-generate drawing and then go home. But it'll definitely give you quite some free time to continue working with your models since the drawing has been generated in the background. And we will only see improvements, and you will also manually be able to tell the AI, I would love for you to import these specific annotations. So as a user, you are also able to model the AI into, making sure that these dimensions is definitely important to me. I would love for you to import these. But probably in the future, we will see that the AI will be better at recognizing all of the necessary dimensions to introduce into the drawing.
Okay, thanks a lot. And we're becoming short of time, so thanks for you. And actually, I would like to say thanks for Kasper Ieselnieks from Latvian Thermal Group. He's helped us a lot to setting our computer class, so respectful for this. And so we will keep in touch. And thanks for joining our webinar and
Thank you.
workshop as well.